Thank you for joining us. We're out here on our first official episode. Coach's show with Coach Monty Fritz here, Mount Vernon High School.
Yep.
It's a good week to talk to him right now.
Absolutely.
It's a good week to talk to him.
We're going to keep it good.
Yeah.
No curse.
No curse.
Dredge is gonna
Shout out to Dredge.
You're going to kill us.
You're gonna...
Oh, man. Look, you guys went into Edison, come out with a 70-13 win.
Mm-hmm.
The scoring started often and early.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me about the game a little bit.
I mean, I knew offensively that we were going to be really, really good. When you return almost all of your starters from an offense that was already pretty good and you get a year of weight room, so we're up front, I think that's where the big difference is. I think Timmy's obviously better because he understands the offense. I think Darian's obviously Darian and Damian Burke's obviously Damian. But up front, we almost returned everybody, but we got to get them in the weight room. So, most of our offensive line now squats over 400 pounds. They weren't even squatting 300 last year. So, we only threw the ball 12 times the whole game. We didn't throw one pass in the second half. It was 51-13 at halftime. We took Timmy, Darian, Damian, Jordan Reed all out of the game. They didn't play one play in the second half. Which is really good for us. One, we're healthy, right? Like we got through the first game and we're healthy. We didn't get a second scrimmage because of lightning.
Right.
So we kept the defense in just a little longer to work on some stuff as we prepare for some of the teams on our schedule. But again, almost everybody on our roster played, which is really good. We had a couple of guys score their first ever touchdowns. Some guys play their first ever play in high school. So that's always a really good thing. Edison, a new coach. I think Coach Lewis will get them where they need to be. But that program was obviously in a really bad state when he got there.
Yeah.
And I'm glad we played them early. Like, I think if you look at their schedule, like, they have Hayfield next. So, their first two games, I think, are really, really tough. But I think Coach Lewis, I think they're going to give some teams in their conference some problems. They have a kid, number 5. I don't know his name.
Yeah.
He can really go. Like, if he played at a big-name school, like, everybody would know his name.
Right.
And he really hurt us with some stuff early. And we had to start, doubling him. And once they get in the system, I think Edison will be fine. But their kid's going to have to bear through 2 games to get into a part of the schedule where they can be a little more competitive, I think. But, we unleashed our new sophomore running back, Jordan Reed, who I've been waiting to kind of show everybody. I think he had 6 carries for 70 yards and a touchdown. He's the reason we're able to move Darian just in the full-time slot. He's kind of like Darian 2.0. He's a little faster than Darian and a little meaner. And sometimes that gets him in trouble. Like, he just wants to hit people instead of run away from people.
Right.
That's a good thing to have to coach out of somebody. But he looked really good. Josh Henry had sprained his MCL in our first scrimmage. He was our starting running back. He looked good on Friday, so I'm happy about that. So, we had some things. We fumbled a snap inside the 5-yard line. We had a punt return called back from a touchdown. So we have some penalties and some things we definitely have to clean up. But it's really hard to complain. We had 40 plays of offense. We scored 70 points.
Right.
It's really tough to complain about.
You could say that.
But, there's still things to improve on. We got beat on a double move. Our defense got beat on double move. So those are things like Hayfield's going to run double moves. Westpo's going to run double moves. Falls Church, who we see, with the belt in a couple of weeks, they're going to run double moves. So we got a lot of work in, but we obviously have some improvement to do. And then we play a completely different team this week, right? And it's been driving me nuts all off season. We played 2 first-year head coaches in our first 2 games. So we really had no idea what Edison was going to do on Friday. We didn't know what they were going to line up in. We had seen some of their scrimmage stuff, but, a good head coach is going to hide stuff in the scrimmages. And then now we play Langley. I mean, the only advantage we have with Langley is they had to play SoCo last week, so they really couldn't hide anything.
Right.
But, they're much different than Edison. They're going to be big and strong and try to run up the middle, and we have to be ready to stop that.
So you dropped 70 in your season opener.
Yeah.
From the kids' standpoint, they got to be feeling, pretty confident about how the season started. From a coaching standpoint, is it more of do you feel like you're ahead of where you thought you would be coming out of training camp, or is it kind of just relief that you got that through? And
I think the relief is we're done with it, right? Because we were all worried. Me and Coach Louisville were really worried about what Edison was going to do, right? So it was really hard to prepare for that game.
Right.
So we just kind of said, this is the 10 plays on offense we're going to plan on running. This is the 2 or 3 things on defense we plan on doing. We're just going to do it, and then we'll make adjustments if we have to.
Right.
So we're kind of glad to be through that. The first game, I think, is always the trickiest when prepping comes to that. But I think, the kids are confident, and I don't mean this, but they understand like our competition level is going to increase throughout the year. We're not going to beat everybody 70-13.
That was the nicest way I've ever heard anyone say. The nicest.
I mean,
I could not have come up with anything like that.
No, you couldn't have.
yeah. So I think at the end of the day, they know that Langley's going to be different than Edison, and then we have Falls Church the week after that, who's a much different team all together. And then you look at the back end of our schedule. Our conference went 5-0 over the weekend, and there was a lot of blowouts. Like TC killed somebody, Mayfield killed somebody, Annandale won. Westpo went down to Briarwoods and really, I think, played really well from what I've seen. So obviously the back end of our schedule is going to be a different animal than the front end of our schedule. But so our kids are confident. They were confident. I think Mount Vernon kids have always been confident. And I think just finding a coaching staff that could come in and kind of funnel it in a positive direction was very important for them. And so we got to do a good job of not letting them get too high, right? We won 70-13. The team we played got beat 54-0. Like, it's trap week, right? Like, I'll just be honest with you, right? Especially as much as we're hyping up the third game with the right? Like, I don't let the kids talk about any other game, and they've done a good job about that. But, this has got all the makings of a trap game. So we'll see how that goes and how prep goes tomorrow. But I like our team, but I'm a little concerned about what our attitude is going to be like this week.
Gotcha. Well, you talked about having that second scrimmage taken away from because of the weather. How much, are you waiting to see when the bullets are live to see how your team is going to react? Like, how different is your team from after the first week than you thought going into the year?
So, I don't have any different thoughts. I think obviously a big thing at Mount Vernon, I thought when I had seen them before I got there, was they had a hard time with adversity. So when one bad thing would happen, it would snowball into 27 bad things. So we had a couple of bad things happen early. They ran a little trick play at us early at Edison, and then the defense shut them down. I think, Edison had 28 rushes for negative 54 yards. So, we're a much different animal on defense. But some of that was, Edison was struggling with some snaps and some bad exchanges. They're new system. So I think I know what we're going to do. But again, until we get the competition level up to us, the talent level is equal to us, because we have some teams on our schedule that can athlete to athlete us. Like, we're not going to know the answer to that. And that's a good thing as a coach. Like, I don't know if I would enjoy coaching if I knew every answer before it happened, right? It's a good thing to see how kids are going to respond under fire. And it's a good thing to teach them, right? Like, when they don't respond correctly, it's a good thing to teach, because it's a life skill, right? Because everybody's going to face adversity. Like Darian, for example, is a great example for us. He tore his meniscus, and then, a week later his sister passes away. So Friday was a really emotional day for him, because that's the first time he's played since all that happened. He scored a touchdown. The team's really excited for him. It's just good to be around a kid like that.
Yeah. So school starts this week.
Yeah.
What's your schedule like during the? I know the first week is probably a little crazier than the rest of them, but what's your schedule like as far as when you guys get together for film?
So we do it right after school. I'm a big guy on making sure that the kids have their own life, right? Like, I don't, college football and high school football should be separate entities, and I think sometimes that line has been blurred, where high schools are doing 20 hours of stuff every single day, right? Like, they're in film for 2 hours at practice. So we do 3:30 to 5:30. That's all we do during school year. We do a lot of stuff where we ask kids to do homework and take quizzes at home that we've slowly been introducing, and that's been pretty good. But kids, I want them to go home and hang out with their friends. I want them to be able to do their homework. I don't want to watch study hall. I've done study halls before maybe other coaches have been more successful with it than the places I've been.
My coaches weren't successful with it.
Yeah, it just turns into a coach getting upset. Like that's all
Yeah.
study hall turns
Right.
into is, something like that. So we try to do our 2 hours. We're pretty efficient with it. We're hardcore on the time. Like you got 5 minutes for this, that's all we're doing. If we
Right.
don't get it done, like we're moving on.
Yeah.
So it makes the other coaches accountable that they know I have 5 minutes to do this. If I don't get it done, Coach Fritz is going to move us on to the next session.
Right.
And so obviously that's an advantage of being in year 2 versus year 1,
Sure.
right? Like so everybody knows what's going on. So I'm excited about it. I'm to be honest with you, I'm sure the kids are. And I'm tired of having big, long 3.5 hour sessions
Yeah.
before school starts.
Yeah.
So we're done with that now. I think all of us are ready to kind of chill out a little bit and start working on game prep weeks. And I'm sure we'll make adjustments as we go. But 3:30 to 5:30, it's 2 hours. That's all we ask. And we want 100% during those 2 hours. And then you're free.
Well, you grew up in Knoxville.
Yep.
How different is like high school football from Tennessee to Virginia?
How different. I think one is the sizes of the high school is a little different. And
Okay.
what I mean by that is like Mount Vernon is like one of the smallest 6A schools in the state, and we're 2,000 kids.
Yeah.
2,000 kid high school in Tennessee is ginormous, right? Like, the high school I went to had 650 kids. And it's much, I think they're community-based schools here, but in Tennessee, like, everything shuts down for Friday, right?
Huh.
Like everything's
Yeah.
closed, there's signs on the door, and everyone goes, regardless of if the team's any good or not. And one thing I've seen here in Northern Virginia is, I think it's kind of a DC thing. Everybody's kind of a bandwagon fan. Like
Oh, for
everybody
sure.
likes the Wizards when the Wizards are good.
Yeah.
But when the Wizards suck, like no one goes to the
Right.
games. And I think that's kind of what I've seen, right? Like when we were really good and started winning games, our crowds were huge last year. But early on, when people thought we weren't going to be very good, like no one
Right.
came to the game.
Yeah.
So I see that as a thing. So then because of that mindset, I think because success breeds success, and I say that all the time, successful schools stay successful because they have more support, they have more money, they have more whatever. And then bad schools have a hard time getting out of that hole because they don't have a funnel to rely
Right.
on
Yeah.
all the time. So
Yeah.
that's one thing I see around here. That's a big difference. The other thing is just, I think everybody assumes the South is better at football, and I think in some areas it is, but the talent level here is just as comparable to the talent level
Right.
in Tennessee or, in some parts of the South that people always hype up.
Yeah.
I think the Washington Post wrote an article about it a couple of months ago about how DC is like the 3rd or 4th richest place for NFL talent.
Yeah.
And I think there's some really good coaches in Northern Virginia. Right?
Yeah.
I could have been in the NFL. I knew it.
Oh God! What did I tell you last week? I told you this is what he would do.
A little more focus. I'd have been there.
Doing what?
I don't know.
What's up? What's up?
I
Did you think
didn't
that?
say playing.
Mini Fritz thought that was ridiculous. He thought that was just as ridiculous. Goodness. Well, so we're talking about your team a little bit. Jason Lewis was the first year last year playing.
Mm-hmm.
He seems to be like a bit of a wild card. You can put him in some different spots.
Yeah, he's definitely a wild card. I think he's a wild card in a lot of ways. I love Jason, but sometimes he's definitely one of the kids that we have to tone down a lot. Like in practice, he wants to kill everyone.
Right.
Right? And so we're constantly having to tell him, like, we're all the same team, right? Save it for Edison, save it for Langley. But because he hasn't played a lot, like one, he doesn't have a lot of bad habits, which is a really good thing.
Yeah.
He's not been taught things in an incorrect way, which is something I've seen since we've been at Mount Vernon. And then he's just willing to do whatever, right? Like if I wanted to line him up at the 0, and which I think he could do because of his athleticism and strength, like he would do it and be excited about it and try to kill whoever's in front of him. But I think, his future in college, because I think he's definitely a college football player, and I think other colleges have let us know that, is outside backer. And he's a big outside backer, but he's really athletic. They love that he plays basketball, and he plays kind of guard in basketball. So he's definitely like the wild card for us, but we also put him in our like goal line, our fridge package, so he had a touchdown on Friday. He had the first touchdown. If we're in the red zone, I can just tell everybody they're going to see it on film. We're putting him in the backfield and just try to stop him. That's kind of what our mindset is. So yeah, he's definitely a kid who I think can do a lot of things, and I think more people will know at the end of the season than they do now.
Yeah. But he's really good on the basketball court. Too.
Yeah.
He's really good on the basketball court.
Your coaching philosophy, we've talked to a bunch of different coaches and played for coaches growing up, and some coaches have a philosophy that, they stick to it, it works for them, and they're successful with it. Are you more of that kind of coach where you feel like you have a philosophy that works and you just keep pounding at it, or do you watch other coaches, you play in games and pick up little things, and are you constantly adjusting?
I would say I'm a thief. Like, that's probably the best thing. Just as my teaching career and my coaching career, like, I've just learned that's the best. And if I see somebody who does something really well, we steal it. So, like, a couple of years ago, like, a big staple in our offense this year is a play that I stole from Manatee in Tampa. When I was at Friendship, we went down to Manatee. They ranked like #1 in the country. Mm-hmm. And they kept running a certain kind of option play at us that I really liked. Yeah. So I stole it, right? I didn't ask.
As well you should.
Yeah. And so, like, I think that's – and I've seen some other coaches around here, some of the stuff. We'll pick up some stuff, see it on films. Like, I really like that idea.
Yeah.
I know Coach Patrick, the coach at Fairfax, like, me and him sat down for probably an hour and a half one day in the offseason just to go over, like, practice schedules, like how he's doing things, how I'm doing things. So I don't believe that I'm, like, the smartest dude in the world, so – I like to learn from other people, and I think that's been a big advantage from adding so many assistant coaches this year, is because they've been a lot of other places coaching. Right. They'll say, "Hey, coach, what do you think about changing to this week?" All right, let's try it. If it doesn't work, we'll get out of it. So I think that's my mindset, is like I want to have a growth mindset. Like, I'm not already complete. I want to keep working on getting to where I want to be, and hopefully that's a mindset of our team. It's like we're not complete. Like, we still have things to fix. So that's kind of what I want to do. I think sometimes the kids might not take it that way because I can be kind of fire and brimstone, like when I have to. But I hopefully can alternate that with us having fun at the same time. But, like Thursday, for example, we practiced for 7 minutes on Thursday. Like 7 minutes, and I kicked the whole team off the field. And made them go home and get out of the locker rooms because I just didn't like where we didn't start well. I thought we were having issues with focusing on teams on the back end of our schedule instead of teams on the front end of our schedule. Yeah. So I was happy that we responded well. We came out 170-13. Yeah. But on Thursday, I was not very happy, and I sent them all home. So, I don't know. It's coaching's a funny thing, right? Like, one week you're one way, the next week you got to be something else. Right. At least for me. Well,
it's working.
Yeah, it worked this week.
Well, most important thing, what'd you have for breakfast this morning? Last week you threw us off with the cinnamon frosted flakes.
Yeah.
Cinnamon frosted flakes?
Yeah. I had peanut butter Captain Crunch. I went back to that.
Oh, man. The cereal eater.
Yeah, I love cereal.
What's your favorite cereal?
I'm a Golden Grams guy.
Golden Grams?
I know it's weird, but yeah.
Awful.
Yeah, I think they're better choices.
Don't be shaking your
head. There are better choices. You know what I used to love, and then I ate it recently and not so much? Fruity Pebbles.
Fruity Pebbles are...
When was the last time you ate some?
Like, I don't know, a month ago. I mean, I didn't say it's only Golden Grams. Come on.
Oops, all berries.
What was that?
Oops, all berries.
What is that?
Captain Crunch.
Oh, no. I don't know that.
That's the best cereal out there.
I thought you said Blueberry. I was up.
Halloween time, that's good.
I don't think they have Blueberry anymore.
They do.
Halloween
time, they always have.
Okay.
Yeah.
Count Chocula. My mom used to never let us get Count Chocula. We've taken a turn another direction.
Yeah, but that's part of that's part of it. Why we can't wait next week.
Yep.
We'll see you guys. It's good luck if you get kicked off the practice field.
That's right. Well, 7-minute practice Thursday is going to be like a new tradition.
Are you kidding me? John would love to play.
Absolutely.
You get a 7-minute practice. That's his dream.
I don't know if he would have loved it on Thursday.
No.
Probably not. Well, we'll talk to you next week. Good luck.
Thank you.
Cool.